What is up, everyone? It's Archangel here, bring you clowns with my thoughts, my impressions of Mortal Kombat 10 or Mortal Kombat X, whichever you want to call it. Now, I'm not going to do a review of this game, at least not in the truest extent of what a review is. Now, I'm thinking about just step away from reviews in general, as in, I'm still to me, impressions and reviews are kind of the same thing. Well, the difference being, a review is you're trying to trying to think of the word. You're trying to convince someone to buy a game. You're trying to explain to them why you give them a certain grade, a certain score. My impressions are more so just me saying what I think of the game, without me trying to say you should buy it or you shouldn't buy it. Just my thoughts, and based on my thoughts, you do it whatever you want. There won't be any grades in this video. There won't be like I'll give it a 9 out of 10 or no. It's just my impressions. The reviews to me are kind of losing their touch, because if you make a review, you give a game like an 8, and you say it's a good game. And you give another game that's not as good an 8.5, and you have this complication of, do you think that game's better than the game you gave it 8, even though in your head the 8.5 is not as good. See what I'm trying to say? So this will be seen as total review, but I'm not going to give a grade at the end. I'm just going to talk about what I think of it. So getting into it, I got some clips together from some of my fights I've had. Decided not to upload story gameplay, mainly because I don't want to spoil any cutscenes for those that plan on playing the game and haven't played it yet or bought it yet. Excuse me. But to sum up what I thought of the story, it was pretty damn short. And I beat it in about 4 hours 27 minutes. It's shorter than Mortal Kombat 9 for sure. I do feel like Mortal Kombat 9 had a better story in general, not just because being longer, but it seemed like it's just not as good of a story as in terms of like writing. That is to take away from Mortal Kombat X though because the story is decently written and cutscenes are pretty cool. The only real negatives would be you can't do fatalities in the story mode. Now I understand there's reason for that, because the story mode is like an actual story that follows the Mortal Kombat storyline, so you can't really just do fatalities on every single person in a freaking story, because that makes no sense. But you know, it's just a nitpicky negative. And then there are QTEs. And I've said this before, there's good QTEs and there's bad QTEs. Tomb Raider, Rise, and the Order 1886 all had good QuickTime events. This game has bad QuickTime events, merely because they are unneeded. No real purpose for them other than, here, have you press a button during cutscenes. The ending was kind of blah. I think the choice of the character they picked to beat the boss was kind of weird, but understandable since the story is pretty much a passing the torch kind of thing. You know, you play as 4 characters that are offsprings of previous characters like Cassie Cage, Johnny Cage, Sonya's daughter, Jackie Briggs, who is the daughter of Jax, obviously. Then you have Takeda, the son of Kenshi, and Kung Jin, who's the cousin of Kung Lao. For those who haven't played the story yet, get ready for another cheap boss. If you play Mortal Kombat 9, you know how cheap Shao Kahn was, because he was a pretty cheesy character. Like he'll do some, now you can find 5 videos of how cheesy Shao Kahn was on YouTube. But in other realms, they scripted him to be the biggest cheese ball in the game, period. Think of the biggest button smash you can think of. That's what Shao Kahn was. Until you beat him, then it becomes easier, for some reason it becomes easier to fight him. I don't know why. In this one, the final boss, again, no spoilers, is also scripted to be pretty cheap. The negatives I have with this game, trying to think about it, some of the modifiers they have to make things more challenging are kind of bullshit. And mainly because when some of you see, most of the time you playing with these modifiers on, you're playing against a computer. For example, during a daily challenge in the tower, the modifier cuts out the lights, so the game lights go in and out. Now that wouldn't be a big deal against other players, but against the computer it's unfair as shit, because I can't see, but the computer can. The computer doesn't need to be able to see in order to fight. The computer is programmed to fight you. It doesn't need to be able to see. The computer is unaffected by that modifier. Other modifiers affect them, of course, which is good, just not that one. So that's one issue with modifiers that are implemented in the game. Still finish the tower though, it was just a pain in the ass to deal with that specific modifier. Another negative is the microtransactions. Yes, I'm about to talk about microtransactions in this game. Everyone else has a video about it. There's been tons of it. Microtransactions in this game are an insult, not just to the franchise itself, but to gamers. Now you can spend money to unlock everything in a crypt. You can spend money for easy fatality tokens, so you can never really do a fatality. Then there are DLC packs that give you all the characters like Jason, Tanya, Trimmer, and Predator. It also gives you the Samurai DLC, which can be bought separately. There's also a Sub-Zero skin you can only get by buying the skin DLC. All of this will cost you pretty much the same price as buying the game itself. That's a total of like $120 or more. Another would be that this is a fairly easy Mortal Kombat game. Now they noticeably dumbed down this game, which is an obvious attempt to gain more money from casual fan base. Thus, you have the options to it that allow you to do fatalities or learn the combos without pressing a lot of buttons. You just press 1 or 2 buttons and that's it. That's it. You do a fatality. It's easier to just spam things now. The map interactions can be abused a lot. Button matching is more effective. And there isn't really a lot of ways to stop someone from just standing there blocking. Now, I'm sure pro players destroy noobs as always. If you're better at the game, you're going to have a better time against people who are like that. But this game made it easy enough to where above average players could lose to button mashers who, if not mashing buttons, is not blocking. Now, that's my beef when it comes to like the gameplay. Now, one last negative, which pissed me off, there are characters in story mode that you fight that you can't even play as in the game itself. Hell, there are characters who aren't even in the game at all, but later to be DLC, who are in the story mode, but you can't play in the game at all. For example, there's Rain, there's Tanya. Really, like I just can't. Really, NetherRealm, you put people who aren't yet playable in the story, but you would charge us for them later. No, Smoke's in the story, but not playable. Sindel's in the story, but not playable. There's some other characters who are in the story, but are not playable. No, that's the kind of microtransactions we don't want to see in a game. We don't want to see that there's characters in the story we can't play with at all, and then those characters are planned to be DLC later. It's kind of bullshit, because that's on this DLC. It's okay to have like Jason and like Predator and Trimmer, but because none of them are in for your story. It's okay, those are added on characters. But you have Tanya in the story, but you have a part of this combat pack with Jason, Trimmer, and freaking Predator. So you make us pay for a character who's already there. It's annoying me. It's just annoying. Graphically, meh. It's not amazing. It's pretty standard graphics that you would expect from the current gen consoles. Now, I'm not one of you who's gonna go every game that comes out now is just amazing. We're what, a year and a half into the PS4 and Xbox One. This is pretty standard graphics, especially for a fight game. It's not amazing, not mind blowing. It's just standard current gen graphics. No, at least for when it comes to like a game like Mortal Kombat that aims for realistic style. It's not like Street Fighter or Dragon Ball Z that aim for more shell-shaded cartoon style or comic book style. I think the only way to stop an X-ray should be using your own meter to stop it, as in like a combo breaker. You shouldn't be able to just crouch and block. You should have to use that meter at the bottom of your screen to block out the X-ray. So that's another thing I think they should have added in that would have countered the noob-like mentality of this game. I like to call it X-ray the noob break because you only get it by getting your ass beat. So if someone's getting ass beat constantly, they're getting X-rays constantly. And if you having to get an X-ray and they just crouch and block it, it's kind of bullshit. I feel like there isn't enough characters. Where's Noob Zabot? Why can't we play as Noob? What is he going to be, DLC character like everybody else is? Is he just like Rain and Tanya down the road? Here's Noob Zabot. No, just these questions like that. Overall, I do think the game is good. All negatives aside, the gameplay is great. It's fun. Probably the second best Mortal Kombat game in my opinion. In my opinion, Mortal Kombat 9 is the best so far. So, you know, that's just my thought. You know, my brother asked me should he buy the game or not, and I told him, meh, you could if you want it. To me, I honestly think I should have waited till it went down to like 45 bucks, 50 bucks. That's just my thought. Now, I'll probably do another playthrough of the story and stream it and stream some tower gameplay as well. Not sure when. Not sure if I'll do any online play. I'll try to maybe I'll do some tower challenges, some King of the Hill. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when it comes to me and streaming Mortal Kombat. I usually just take a break from the game shortly after beating the story. We'll see, but definitely follow me on Twitch and tune in to when I do things like that. Anyways, that's it for the video, people. As always, hope you all enjoyed. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, if you like what you see, hit the like button. If you don't, hit the dislike button. Do what you please. Thank you for watching. Peace.
Sonya wins. Fatality.